you ICC, thank you guests, and thank you eminent speakers on the dais. Before starting my 15 minutes presentation, in fact, morning session was really good. And as I come from Delhi, and from last 2 months, every year it's happening, like end of the year, we start talking about PMI, SPM, NGT, and all bans, all restrictions, everything starts coming into the picture. Carbon emissions, everything. And I think even at my home also, and even at the school level, everybody knows that what is the pollution level now in Delhi. Because North is facing a big problem. And it's good, like the way construction activities and the government is spending on the infrastructure, at least we are more worried about the future. And Mapei, as a Mapei, which is a construction chemical company, plays a very small important role in the construction activity as compared to the cement, which is one of the major factor in the construction. But still we contribute to 2 to 3% of the total construction cost as compared to the other ingredients like cement, steel and all that. But it's as a responsible technocrats and all, it's our duty to really see what best can be done for the environment and what best can be done for the future. So as a construction chemical, there are different product lines what we have. So all these are basically 80% of these product lines are cement based, and how to reduce not only the carbon emissions but also to reduce the VOC content. Sustainability and communication is the key role now for every company, and that is for the Mapei also. Raw materials, I said that as cement is one of the raw materials which we generally procure from a lot of vendors across the globe. Then transformation of the raw materials into the finished products, application, usage, and then recycling. Even we are trying to work on the products which are basically we are able to reuse the waste of the concrete into the construction. Environmental product declaration is one of the key goals of the Mapei India, where we are already spending a lot of money which is spent on the profits margins, R&Ds into the environmental, and we are converting them into the green phase across the globe. In fact, we are labeling our products, couple of products as zero products, where zero carbon emission is there. So like if I talk about one of the product line heritage structures, where we have stopped using cement and we have replaced it with a total lime mortars, and thereby using it for the heritage structures. Now what we breathe basically when we see our kids really going through a lot of phases inside this. Living comfort is one of the agenda, indoor air quality, and what are we breathing? We are basically breathing volatile chemicals which comes from furniture, construction materials, a lot of fibers, particles, human sources, toxins, nanosized pollution particles from the outdoors. Indoor environmental quality, which is conforming to ME code. There are different standards worldwide. So these are the VOC content which we should really be able to restrict to the limited level so as to have a satisfactory future for the future generations. Now coming to the major part, which is construction. Now as everybody worldwide is talking that India is the fastest growing economy, with government targeting 8 trillion growth in the next coming years. So construction will play a very major important role, and mainly into the infrastructure which the government is planning to have the highways across and fortunately our infrastructure minister, Mr. Nitin Gadkari, is working on a lot of alternative energy resources so as to decarbonize the things for the much better future. Carbon dioxide emissions are identified as the main cause of the global warming. Now, production of cement, as you know, is a large source of CO2 emissions. Most of these emissions are due to the clinker production, chemical transformations, and thermal combustions. 0.84 ton of CO2 are emitted into the atmosphere to produce 1 ton of clinker. As a key component of concrete, cement is therefore identified as a contributor to the climate change. Around 3 gigatons of per year of carbon dioxide are emitted into the atmosphere. Concrete is the most second, as we have discussed in the first phase also, it is the second most consumed substance after the water. 14 gigatons of per year of the concrete is being used. Though it has got a unique characteristics and we cannot avoid it, but at least we can improve upon it. Versatility, resilience, ease of production, low cost, durability. Despite the well-known environmental issues, cement and concrete will be the construction material to focus on CO2 emissions. Okay, everybody knows that India is the one of the second most largest after the China, the cement manufacturer, and it plays a very important fundamental role in the development of the economies. Reduction of CO2 emissions will be the main driver of the cement sector in the future, in the next years and the next decades. Roadmaps to the decarbonization, Paris Agreement 2015 were limited global warming to well below 2 degrees centigrade compared to the pre-industrial levels. Over the years, we have planned strategies, roadmaps have been developed to achieve carbon neutrally by around 2050. The levels identified by the cement manufacturers can be grouped as thermal energy efficiencies, fuel switching, reduction of clinker to cement ratio, innovative technologies. The current global average thermal energy consumption is around 3.5 GJ per ton of clinker. With the best available technologies, thermal energy consumption could be reduced to about 3. This level is expected to contribute 3% of the carbon dioxide emission. It involves upgrading of the kilns and the various equipments. Huge capital investments are required, and we have to see how the government and how the things can be taken shape into the future. This level is now reduction of the clinker to cement ratio, which we have been talking a lot. The lever is expected to contribute 37% of the CO2 global emission reduction. It is really effective solution, does not require investments, easy to implement, measurable. However, clinker substitution is the solution in the short term, but not on the long term. Now, as a cement additive manufacturer, we can reduce the clinkers to a certain extent and reduce the carbon emission. CO2 reduction will be the main driver of the cement sector strategies in the coming years. Among the possible levels, the replacement of the clinker is the solution that is easiest and most effective to implement in the short term. Performance of these cements, particularly in the concrete application, could be difficult. Cement additives will play a key role, and we have to keep on modifying the cement additives, which best clinkers, different categories of the clinkers can be helpful in reducing the carbon emissions. The government has to really come out with a different specification into the tenders, BIS, IS standards, water standards, so as to have really focus on the carbon emissions. New standards necessary are to define new types, classification of cement, new requirements, and new test methods. As a company, our strive is to reduce the environmental impact, reduce the energy consumption, reduce total consumption and the water discharges, reducing the pollution emissions, reducing the waste production, and reducing the use of raw material. 90% of the purchased goods are from the local suppliers. We spend almost 0.38 million, which is 5% of our profit turnover, into the R&D activities, so as to focus on the carbon emissions reduction into the various, and not only carbon emission reduction, but also on the VOC content reduction in the various of the products which we are manufacturing, conforming to Gen EMI code emission DEM. This is R&D. These are the emission test chambers. And then we check the reduction after using the various raw materials from a certain factor, which is without the usage of the raw materials, with the usage of the carbon emission or the VOC less content, and where we can come to a certain level of the reduction. So these are the different European levels which we are catering to, which are European levels and the American levels. So we have to standardize our levels as per the local Indian parameters also, because the kind of construction we are looking at, so we have to really focus on this. So our strive to reduce is the environmental contaminant. We have to fight against the climate change, sustainability of the building, green buildings, LEED standards, assessing the impact of the products, durability of the systems. So we believe that sustainability is not a destination, but it is a compass for devising and designing a solution that is increasingly innovative and attentive to the environment of the people. So with this, I conclude because there are a lot of things we can discuss with the time constraint. Let's build a sustainable future together. Thank you.